one of a kind session with all the leading women addressing us, and with great pleasure, I would like to introduce them to you now. The first speaker of this insightful session of WAIB panel discussion, DEI, in the Indian business environment will be Dr. Abhishekta Acharya Roy Choudhury, a distinguished economist and industry leader with over 25 years of experience in economic research, policy advocacy, and industrial capacity building. She is currently the executive director of the Institute of Indian Foundrymen, the leading national body of the foundry industry, overseeing 24 chapters and 4 centers of excellence. She also serves as the editor-in-chief of the Indian Foundry Journal. Her work emphasizes connecting rigorous academic research with industry practice, especially in international trade and market entry strategy. Dr. Acharya Roy Choudhury holds a doctoral degree in business management from the University of Calcutta, an MPhil in international trade from JNU, an MBA in marketing, and a bachelor's degree in economics from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. Before joining IIF, she spent nearly 17 years at the Confederation of Indian Industry as Deputy Director, leading the Economic Research Cell for the Eastern region, where she contributed to key policy reports across sectors like finance, taxation, agriculture, and food processing. A prolific writer and expert in project management, Dr. Acharya Roy Choudhury actively promotes industry development through policy research, publications, and organizing high-level seminars and workshops, enhancing the global competitiveness of the Indian enterprises. We're truly honored to have you among us today, ma'am. I would like to welcome Professor Acharya Roy Choudhury on stage. I would like to request Professor Elizabeth Rose to felicitate Dr. Acharya Roy Choudhury with a memento and a bouquet. With great pleasure, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Amita Khurana, who is a distinguished commercial leader currently serving as the Group Chief of Raw Material Procurement at Tata Steel Limited. In this high-impact role, she carries the strategic responsibility for the entire raw material supply chain, supporting Tata Steel's global manufacturing footprint, including its primary sites in India, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom. Her leadership is instrumental in navigating the complexities of global commodity markets to ensure operational continuity and cost efficiency for one of the world's most prominent steel producers. With a professional career spanning over 20 years, Ms. Khurana has cultivated deep expertise in commercial strategy, logistics, and large-scale procurement. She played a pivotal role in the successful integration of Tata Steel BSL Limited, formerly known as Bhushan Steel, as its Chief Procurement Officer following its landmark acquisition in 2018. A strong academic and professional foundation underpins Ms. Khurana's strategic acumen. She holds a master's degree in international business from the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, New Delhi, and is a qualified chartered financial analyst. Additionally, she holds an advanced diploma in shipping from the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers in London, a combination of credentials that enables her to bring a unique analytical and multidisciplinary perspective to global supply chain management. Ma'am, it is an honor to have you among us today. I would like to request ma'am to come on stage, and I would request Professor Elizabeth L. Rose to felicitate ma'am with a memento and a bouquet. Picture. speaker for the session will be Ms. Joy Chaudhary. Ms. Chaudhary is a seasoned trade professional and leader who currently serves as the regional head for the Federation of Indian Export Organizations, Eastern Region. She is a central figure in trade promotion and facilitation, bridging the gap between Indian exporters, government bodies, and global market opportunities. Since February 2025, she has also taken on the critical role of India focal point and coordinator for the She Trades India Hub, where she spearheads initiatives to support and empower women entrepreneurs in the international trade landscape. Throughout her tenure, Ms. Chaudhary has been instrumental in boosting exports from Eastern India through dedicated trade facilitation and participation in high-level discussions, including those concerning the India-UK Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Her expertise lies in navigating complex trade regulations and connecting businesses with the resources necessary for global expansion. Her professional background is supported by a strong academic foundation, including a master's degree in public administration from Indira Gandhi National Open University and a postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication from the University of Calcutta. This combination of communication expertise and administrative insights allows her to effectively advocate for the industry and lead regional trade development with strategic clarity. We are honored to have you among us today, ma'am. I would request Professor Elizabeth Rose to felicitate ma'am with a bouquet and a memento. The next speaker of this exciting session will be Dr. Mo Sen, who is a highly accomplished technocrat and administrator currently serving as Joint Director for the Department of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises and Textiles, Government of West Bengal. With a career spanning over 21 years across industry, R&D and governance, she has become a pivotal figure in the development of the MSME sector in Eastern India. Her leadership is defined by a unique blend of scientific rigor and administrative excellence, having secured the first rank in the West Bengal Public Service Commission entrance examination. Throughout her 11-year tenure with the state government, Dr. Sen has played a transformative role as the General Manager of the District Industries Center. Her work focuses on industrial cluster development, overseeing engineering and ceramic tiles cluster, and providing hand-holding support to startups. She is instrumental in policy formulation, facilitating statutory clearances, and managing high-impact financial grant schemes like PMEGP and BSKP. Before her government service, Dr. Sen was a distinguished researcher and academician. She spent nearly 9 years heading R&D at Oxide Private Limited, where she led the development of advanced catalysts and adsorbents, including import substitutes for ISRO. An expert in chemical engineering, she holds a doctoral degree from NIT Durgapur with a specialization in arsenic mitigation through nanotechnology. This deep technical expertise, combined with her experience as a former head of department at an engineering college, allows her to mentor entrepreneurs with a profound understanding of technology, innovation, and business scalability. Now, we are honored to have you among us today. I would request ma'am to come on stage, and I would request Professor Rose to felicitate ma'am with a victory and a memento. The next speaker of the session will be Ms. Priyanka Tarafdar. Ms. Tarafdar is currently serving as Deputy Director at CAPEXIL Kolkata with over 15 years of experience in export promotion, international trade, and industry coordination. She has developed strong expertise in stakeholder management, export facilitation, and policy implementation. Before joining CAPEXIL, she worked as a Senior Executive Officer at EEPC India and earlier held roles as merchandiser with Kariwala Industries Limited and export supplier coordination, export documentation, order execution, production planning, and logistics management. Ms. Taravdar holds an MBA in International Business from the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, New Delhi, and a master's degree from the University of Calcutta. She is known for her strong interpersonal and coordination skills and has worked closely with exporters, foreign buyers, government bodies, and industry stakeholders across sectors. Ma'am, it is a pleasure to have you among us today. I would like to call ma'am on stage and requesting Professor Rose to felicitate ma'am with a bouquet and a memento. Last but not least, the next speaker of this interesting session will be Ms. Sonam Kasera. Ms. Kasera is the Chief Executive Officer of Kamru Tea Company, a prominent enterprise producing high-quality tea annually from ISO certified estates in Assam. Under her leadership, the company has successfully balanced traditional craftsmanship with modern market demand, focusing on sustainability and innovative packaging tailored for both older demographics and Gen Z consumers. A graduate of the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, she has transitioned the business into a global player, exporting premium single origin teas to more than 30 countries across the B2B and B2C sectors. Beyond her corporate responsibilities, Ms. Kasera is a highly influential advocate for the Indian tea sector and trade policy. As a board member of the Federation of Indian Export Organization, she actively represents the industry on national and international platforms, providing expert insights into fiscal matters such as the impact of GST on export profitability. Her commitment to empowering others is further evidenced by her involvement with the She Trades India Hub, where she works to bridge the gap for women entrepreneurs in the global trade landscape. Ma'am, it is a pleasure having you here. I would like to invite ma'am on stage and also request Professor Rose to felicitate ma'am with a bouquet and a memento. This session will be moderated by none other than Professor Elizabeth L. Rose, also affectionately known as Professor Beth. Professor Beth is the Research Chair Professor of Strategy and Entrepreneurship at IIM Udaipur. Her research explores various aspects of how firms internationalize with a particular focus on smaller firms and those from emerging markets. Widely published, she is a fellow of the Academy of International Business, AIB, and the Australia and New Zealand International Business Academy, ANZIBA. She received the award for service to the global community from the Academy of Management's International Management Division in 2024. She was WABI's Woman of the Year in 2019. Professor Beth has held leadership roles in several professional associations. In the AIB, she served on the board as Vice President for Administration. She has been Secretary Treasurer of the AIB Fellows and is currently a member of the AIB Africa Task Force while serving on the board AIB and the Emerging Markets Special Interest Group. She has chaired the Academy of Management and International Management Division and the Strategic Management Society's Global Interest Group. Additionally, she has served as president of ANZIBA and the Association of Japanese Business Studies. Professor Beth was the founding co-editor-in-chief of the Academy of Management Collection and is deputy editor of the Academy of International Business Insights. She is also on the senior editorial team of the Journal of International Business Studies. Ma'am, it is a pleasure to have you among us here. And without ado, I would like to hand over the session to you. The session is yours.
Thank you so much for any for all this introduction, and I don't know about you, but I am completely blown away to be sharing the stage with you people. This is listening to your bios. I'm in awe. So towards the end of the conference, so thank you everybody for being in the audience. Huge thank you. You got here just in time, sir. To Professor Rangarajan and Professor Raghu for arranging, for contacting the amazing women on this panel. We just had lunch together, and this is going to be fun. We have what, 5, 6 hours? We're going to need it. No, we won't keep you 5 or 6 hours, I promise. I'm delighted that this session, it's just a bit of a plug for Women of the AIB, is sponsored by Women of the Academy of International Business. WAVE is with the first special interest group for the Academy of International Business. We're going to be celebrating our 25th anniversary, I think, within the next year or so. I'm really honored to be on the board of WAVE, and you guys are just amazing. You're the most remarkable representatives for women in business and policy, and I can't wait to get the word out about this panel on social media. Okay, we were originally going to talk a lot about DEI, but I think we're going to give our speakers quite a bit of free rein, because each and every one of them has fascinating stories to tell. And each and every one of these women is doing tangible work to raise the profile of women in this country. So, DEI, and representation in general, it's a hot topic, made somewhat hotter by the geopolitical stuff we've been talking about yesterday. I apologize. I have an American accent, and I'm not proud of that these days. Sorry. It's not a new topic, but it's one that's being very much talked about at the moment. And quite frankly, the implementation is quite different, I think, quite distinct here in India. And India's been working on this at the government level, especially for a very long time. And so I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys all think. I'd sent questions sort of like, what does DEI mean to you? The point was raised during lunch that it's kind of a Western concept, so maybe that's not what we need to be talking about. But I'd love to hear your views about how you feel that India is doing in general with respect to giving wider access to women, to people who are historically underrepresented in business and in government. So, I don't know, should we start with you?
Yeah, sure. Well, good.
It takes a couple seconds for it to pop in. Okay.
I think I'm good to go. Yeah. Very good afternoon, everyone. And I'm very proud to be part of such a distinguished panel. Now, we talk about DEI. For everyone, DEI is kind of a policy. But being a woman entrepreneur myself, I would say DEI is it's not about just a policy. It is something which we as an individual need to practice every day, especially in the context of being a woman. Well, I feel that I come from an industry, I come from the tea industry, which depends majorly on women. But the participation of women is mainly confined to the field operations, not on the key managerial roles and nor on the decision making. In my organization, we have 80% women being employed who are not only involved in this field in the production side, but we have women tea tasters, we have women tea buyers, we have women tea procurers who buy from the electronic auctions, who participate in trade exhibitions. We have women who are also there in shipping and logistics. And to provide them, we also have a kind of hybrid kind of work atmosphere wherein people who are married, who have smaller children, they are given an option to work from home, to have flexible timings. We also promote them, by even if they are staying far away, we provide them conveyance facilities. So at the end, what I feel that, it's just about that we as a woman, we have to break the glass ceilings by ourselves. It's just not that we will say that, okay, we have to do this. We all have to come together as one and make women inclusive. And not even about women, I say people from all castes, from all creeds, everywhere. We have to have inclusivity. And lastly, I would just like to say that I feel that this has to be a matter of inclusion, because if we practice inclusion every day in all aspects of life, at turn, if we help every woman rise, at the end, the society also rises. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. What Ms. Kasera has already said, I just wish to add few introduction on the DII, today's topic, that business performance, talent acquisition, and social and legal databases. So for business performance, studies like McKinsey, they have suggested that diverse terms are more innovative and perform better financially because of they can avoid group thinking. Talent acquisition. Nowadays, younger generation like most popular Gen Z and millennials, they often prioritize companies' culture on top of, they can think that where they are going to work. So they prioritize the culture over the money, the remuneration they are getting. The number three is social and legal databases. Recently, DEI has become a prominent political and legal frictions. Some critics argue it can lead to the reverse discrimination on prioritized identity over the merit, leading some companies to their rebranding their program as belonging or culture and talent. In 2026, India's relationship with DEI is a fascinating crosswords, while it has moved beyond being a Western import, where the checklist will be the HR's checklist will be the DEI, rather addressing Indian social hierarchies rather than just following global thing. So this is my introduction. I'll come back later on the later part where in the, how industries are doing. I'll be speaking on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to take part in this panel. Distinguished guest panelist on the dais, Madam Professor Rangarajan Shumona, I know them very well, and all other professors sitting here. I was just going through the Google, and I was amazed to see that actually from childhood we started about India one word, that India is unity in diversity, it's our beauty. So what is the difference between when we talk about USA and in India? So first thing is that we have 121 languages, out of which 22 scheduled languages in India. So you can imagine we are having a strength of 142 crores in India. Second is that we have 4.6 million caste and subcaste, another diversity. We have 2000 different ethnicity, out of which scheduled tribes are 705 in India. And apart from all these, other things are there, but another thing is there that we economically also we have huge diversity. It is called that 90% of our wealth is with 10% of higher strata, and only 10% with the rest 90%. So you can imagine the big, very long stretch where everything is diverse. So when we talk about diversity and then equity and inclusivity, then we must think that where we should focus. Here I mean, we mean the government, because it's very easy to raise a finger. If something is not happening, government is not doing that. Everywhere, everywhere where you go, this power cut, government is not doing. Train is late, the government is not doing. So we are at that part of where everyone is accusing, government is not doing. But I was just thinking, after getting this invitation, I was literally, tell me very frankly, I was not very aware about what is DEI and what whole world is thinking about. But when I just Googled it and I thought, oh, that's what we do actually. Oh, that is there. So now, everywhere, this last week, I am giving you one example. I was attending one engineering congress conference in Durgapur, where all over India, few women came, 13, 15 women engineers, they came. So when we entered this type of auditorium, we saw we 15 are only there, no spectators. So that is why when we talk about diversity, when we talk about inclusivity, where women stand, that is also there. I was just trying to ask you. I saw your designation that association is foundry main. So you know, so that is this name itself shows where we stand. So I think I don't want to be very feminist, but the thing is, lot of diversity is there in India, and keeping in mind this diversity, we need to give opportunity. Again, I mean to say not equal opportunity, because all are not at the same level. So if you are providing opportunity equal for all, that means you are not doing justice to the person who are actually at the back end. Maybe it is caste wise, maybe it is economically backward, maybe it is LGBTQ, or anything, any very minor ethnicity or something. So government, when we think from the chair of the government, we should think what facility or what benefit opportunity we should provide, or we should make some policies and implement that. That is main thing, not the policy or the act. The implementation part is the main thing. What we should do so that ultimate effect will be equal to all, and we can say that we have this proper inclusivity. And definitely also that we should create an environment where everyone can say what he wants to speak, which is, I don't know whether it is a platform to say that all over world you see the right to speak is shrinking day by day. That's very alarming situation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much. I'm indeed honored to be part of this distinguished panelists, and definitely very grateful to IIFT and their professor for inviting me to this panel discussion. Now, I was hearing what Sonam and Priyanka and Dr. Moshin was talking. Now, definitely during lunch also, we had a discussion on this point. Even I would like to add on to what you had said, that DEI in India, the particular word has come in hands with the Western templates. We, India, it is basically unity and diversity, and we have so much diversity. Now, if we talk about DEI in organization, I am rather a living example of that in my organization. FIO, the organization I'm representing, is the apex body of all the exploration councils in the country and the commodity boards. And we have more than 35,000 members all over the country. Now, we have 4 regional heads all across the country. And I'm the only woman regional head heading the eastern region, and I'm heading 11 states in the country. So you can understand my organization's efforts. Not effort is part of our organization culture to have women. We have 5 women in our board, and Sonam Kasera is one of that woman in the board. Not only that, we have also a woman representative from the northeast part of the country, which is usually a part we don't give much of a thought. So, if we only talk about this cliche, the very concept which has come from the Western, DI, as Madam was saying, Dr. Shane, this is more of intangible verticals that we talk about. When we talk about inclusivity, when we talk about equity, when we talk about diversity, we also have to not only talk about, things which can be measured. These things which we're talking, they're all quantified, they're all being measured. But DI is a concept which I feel runs more on the intangible verticals than on tangible verticals. If today we 6 or 7 of us sitting out here, it is not only because of the quantification, the acronym of a DI. It is because of intangible support which has brought us over to this table when we are talking, sharing your thoughts. For me, DI is basically an